T-minus 30 seconds. T-minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man.
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes.
Exclusive. Oh.
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up.
You are now tapped into the coolest reptile podcast in the world. Welcome to another Trap Talks coffee and dab session, international style. We got my man from the UK tapping in. I am very excited. My round 2 one-on-one with my boy Gavin. Been a huge inspiration to me since the very beginning. So this is going to be really good. Shout out to all my early birds in the building. Hope everyone's Saturday's going great. I hope you had a great Saturday. If you're tapping into the UK, your day's about ending at this point. But either way, no matter where you're at, you're tapped into the coolest reptile podcast in the world. You're here right now. If this is your first time tapping in, do your boy a favor. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. That way you're on top of every single podcast I drop here on the Snake Trap Sessions channel. I drop four podcasts a week. I don't fucking miss a step. Every week I come out with 4 podcasts and I drop a vlog every Saturday. Shout out to everyone who just caught my vlog that I just dropped. Right now. I was a big ass fat liar to all you guys telling you I'm done with the imports and whatnot. That's not true. I just bought an import from Arlington. So the thing is, I'm going to document my whole process with this import, whether if it dies or if it stays alive. You guys are going to see it all go down. So if you guys want to, after the podcast, go check out the vlog that I just dropped. Really cool stuff. Thank you to everyone who tapped in, man. But you guys know how we start things here at this podcast for the freshest and best rodents delivered to your doorstep. Cold-Blooded Cafe is your jam. $30 flat rate shipping. Day one pinks to Mammoth Rats. Can't complain. Can't beat Cold-Blooded Cafe. Shout out to Steven and Desiree and the whole Cold-Blooded Cafe team. Shout out to John and Alex over at Sim Container doing big player things with these monitors. It's nonstop awesomeness going on over at Sim Container when it comes to their monitors and also when it comes to their egg boxes, man. I'm telling you right now, Sim Container is the truth. Less steps, less stress. It's the way to go. If it's a sim, it's a win. That's for sure. Thank you. Shout out to John and Alex. Thank you for your support. And then shout out to and congratulations to Focus Cube Habitats. They just moved to a new facility that looks fucking huge. So that just could only mean that they're pumping out more enclosures. And if you guys don't know who Focus Cube Habitat is, right now is your time to go check them out on Instagram, go to their website, go see what they're all about. But they are doing stuff so differently than any other enclosure company out there, really on top of their stuff, flexing Texas all day, every day. You know Texas got the trap support. But really, man, I appreciate your guys' support, Stephen and Ashley. I cannot wait to get my 16 decked out 3x2x2s in this room. I'm so ready for it, man. I have so many ideas and whatnot. So thank you for everything that you do. I appreciate it. Shout out to Jesse and the entire Freedom Breeder crew. Fuck, it's Freedom Breeder. What else do I need to say? Number one of the game, stainless steel racks made in the United States. I appreciate you, Jesse. Appreciate the entire Freedom Breeder crew. Appreciate this guy heavily. Very player, very handsome, and very on top of his ball python projects, man. Guy's killing it in a short stance of time. I could say me and him have made some good track in this game. You know, I mean, I've been in this game for about 4 years. He's been in this game for going on 5. I'm just telling you right now, man, this guy has inspired so much fire under my fucking ass. I don't know, that sounds weird, huh? But whatever. He just gets me pumped up. It's my boy right here. Thank you so much, Miguel, for all that you do. Go check him out on Instagram. Check out his YouTube. And then more importantly, if you're in the ball python game, go check out his projects. It's full hits. I'm telling you, smacking. Speaking of smacking, my boy Alan over at Amazing Basins is one of the few working with basin emerald tree boas. These is like the Ferrari of arboreal snakes, or any snake at that. Go check them out if you're very passionate about basin snakes. Basin boas, excuse me. Please go give him a follow on Instagram. And if you're really about wanting to accomplish that basin dream and hopefully get your hands on a basin, because if any of you guys know, it's very expensive and they're not easy to find from a reputable breeder. So that being said, if you really want to be on that, then you're going to want to go follow him and go be a part of his Patreon page. Shout out to my boy Alan. Thank you for just really being a shoo-in in this, man. I appreciate you really doing inspiring stuff. And then my man Blake Stewart, really changing the reptile game one brand at a time. This guy's doing really big things, working with select people. And I feel like if you're somebody out there very passionate about working with the snakes, if you feel like this is a full-time thing and you want to do anything you can to levitate it, if you're really, really willing to invest in your brand, which I feel like is very important, I would go see what my man Blake Stewart over at Stewart Design can do for you. He is responsible for the Justin Kabelka brand change name. And also he helped out many others, you know, Garrett Hartle, and just to name a couple. So big guys in the game, 2 guys who are really killing it. I mean, I call Garrett Hartle the super dwarf retic version of Justin Kabelka after what I see, what he's doing and all that. So I just got to tell you, man, those guys are leading the industry in what they do. And they're going with Blake Stewart at Stewart Design. So Blake, thank you so much. Appreciate everything that you do. And then shout out to Rami. Shout out to Rami over at the Reptile Super Show. Cannot wait for the next Super Show, which is going to be in Anaheim, and then Pomona again. And then I cannot wait to hit up Vegas. But either way, guys, if you're on the West Coast, and, you know, even if you're on the East Coast, man, make it out to a Reptile Super Show. It's not fair that everyone has to, listen, we all know NARBCs just pop off. But everyone from everywhere goes to an NARBC. I feel like we need to bring some of that NARBC vibe to a Reptile Super Show. It would really mean a lot, especially to like a West Coast, like San Diego show or like a LA show. But guys, please go check out a Reptile Super Show. You're not going to regret it. And then guys, NARBC, man, I just saw my man Gavin at Arlington NARBC. It was really awesome to finally meet this guy. He was with Scott Wilkinson, another heavy hitter in the UK, probably the 2 biggest UK hitters in my opinion. But it was very awesome to meet them at an NARBC. And listen, that's why you guys go to reptile shows. It's not just about vending. It's about meeting up. You never know who you're going to run into. By the way, Gavin didn't tell anyone he was rolling. He just popped up. And I think Scott told me, he's like, yeah, Gavin's here. I was like, what? Gavin's not here. And then he was... So I'm just saying, that's why you go to shows. You just never know. And let's ask Gavin why he didn't tell anybody. I'm kind of curious. But guys, please go to a show. It will change your life, change your perspective. It will change everything. Also, too, take your wife to a show or take your husband. If the spouse isn't into it really, take them to a show and their eyes will open up. I did that to my wife. And she's hella into it now. Now she wants her own projects. She's out of her mind, but she's really into it now. So I'm telling you, do that. Go to a show. It will really change everything. USARK is changing everything by the day, man. Let's go support USARK. Phil Goss is one man doing everything he can to help us keep our animal rights. Things are not looking good for Florida. Things are not looking good for North Carolina. Do you want to be next? No, man. We got to stay on top of it. We got to stay united. We got to stay together. And I see a lot of us doing that. So, I mean, there's not much more I can say, but thank you for supporting USARK. And if you don't really know much about it, no big deal. Go down the link below, read up, do some research. If you have any questions, hit up me, hit up any other big dog and see, and we can help you out. But anyways, I'm telling you right now, 8 out of 10 legit motherfuckers in this game supports USARK. 8 out of 10. I would like 10 out of 10, but realistically, it's not. It's 8 out of 10. So USARK, Phil Goss, thank you so much for everything you do. Anyone who shouts out USARK, anyone who talks about USARK, anyone who drops a super chat for my man Gavin. So if you have a question for Gavin, you know what I mean? Because my eyes can't really see questions unless it's a super chat. If it's a super chat, I'm like, oh, I could see it. But if you got a question for my man Gavin, any super chat gets donated straight over to USARK. I'm not shy about it. So guys, thank you. Don't be shy about the super chats. And USARK, let's support USARK all that we can, okay? If you guys want to hit me up for any reason, if you want to see what I work with, you know, I got some ball python stuff, some super dwarf stuff, you know, some boa stuff, some chondro stuff, and yeah, you know, I'm working with some cool stuff. Go see what I got going on. Hit me up on Instagram, mjexoticscartal with an A, not an E, and then I'm also actually locked out of my Trap Talk with MJ podcast Instagram. I'm in the works of getting back in, but I will get my ass back in there. Trust me. But please go follow those 2 pages. Shout out to all my Twitch viewers. I see my Twitch viewers going up every show. That's awesome. Shout out to my Twitch viewers. And again, if you guys like to support this channel more than a subscription or like, I take any donation to PayPal Exotics Cartel with an A, not an E. I also shoot that donation straight over to USARK. And then I will say, shout out to my Patreon members. We finally hit over 100 Patreon members. I love you guys. You're my heart. I don't deserve it, but dude, this community, whatever is happening, is building, it's growing. We have a Discord that's growing, a Discord that has channels anywhere from snake talk to just fucking how to cook like a G and how to, you know, stay fit, everything. It's all about life, how to be better at life as a whole. That's what this Patreon page is all about. So if you out there want to get more out of this, if you definitely want to get better connections and meet homies and stuff like that, or if you want to learn more than just one species, you're going to want to go down to the Trap Talk Patreon family link right there. Come join us. Come fuck with us. I make these shirts available to all my Patreon members. And actually, I kind of take it back. These shirts are now available to everyone. I'm going to be launching these shirts and doing pre-orders right now. So if you see me wear this shirt or I see a trapper wear these Trap Talk with MJ shirts, all right, custom fucking trapping as a sport, you know what I mean? Handshake, all that. Hit me up, okay? I'm doing a pre-order. I'm only going to come out with a couple waves, but if you really want to get one of these shirts, shoot me an email, snaketrapsessions@gmail.com, or you could just hit me up on Instagram, reach out to me, drop a comment, let me know, and I'll hook you up, okay? So that being said, let's say what up to all the early birds, because I see people excited. I know people are excited for Gavin, like my boy Central Bullies. This is my UK thug right here, and he's a Trap Talk Patreon family member right here. It's my man, Central Bullies in the building, works with dogs and works with Six Snakes, and he's homies with Gavin. This is my player right here. Thanks for tapping in. I appreciate it, bro. Ryan, what is good? High as balls. Thanks for tapping in. Trap Talk family member all day. Big Mike, 1776 Exotics, Trap Talk family member all day. Jacob, Trap Talk Management. What's up, buddy? Love you, dog. Thanks for being here. Shane Henderson, what is good, player? Thanks for tapping in. Chantel, what is good, homegirl? Pacific Rim Serpents, PNW in the building. What up, Josh? Scale Fins and Feathers, Trap Talk family members. All these are, by the way, Patreon members. All right. So thank you. Gray Rider, Reptiles, what is good? Trap Talk family member all day. Spartan Pythons and Tarantulas. Oh, you're tripping, bro. I appreciate you. Thanks for tapping in. Steven, what is good, buddy? Desert Mojave Morphs, Trap Talk family member all day. Hey, Richie. Hey, Richie, what's up? Thanks for tapping in. The General in the building, Trap Talk family member right here all day, every day. Thanks for tapping in. Ooh, we got right here my homie Brandon Wheeler in the building, Morelia House. What is good, buddy? Go follow my man Brandon. This guy's a heavy hitter for sure. Triple G in the building. This is Zoo Dream team member all day, every day. Trap Talk family member. What is good, Matt? Trap Talk family member all day, every day. Thanks for tapping in. John Wilcox, what is good? Thanks for tapping in, player. Runyon, Reptiles, what is good? Thanks for tapping in. The homie Dennis, my shooter gang right here. The Serpent Smith, thanks for being here, buddy. Vivid Skin Reptiles, thanks for being here. Tasty Hill Herbs, what is good? Brian Bode, what is good, buddy? Thanks for being here. CBR Reptiles, what is good? Florida-born Reptiles, what is good? Oh, okay. I'm got to end this in style. Renowned Reptiles, my boy Nicholas from Sacramento, what is good? All right, guys, I don't want to keep my boy Gavin waiting much longer because, listen, his time is valuable, and he's a fucking big dog, man. Let me tell you about my man Gavin. My man Gavin was one of the first people, other than Barcheck, I stumbled across Gavin's YouTube channel, and I couldn't believe just how easy it was to understand everything that he was showing on his YouTube channel. Very straightforward information. So it really caught my eye. Nothing was a gimmick. Nothing was like for show. He's just Gavin being Gavin. And there was other things that I started noticing about Gavin that just made me respect him, which we're going to talk about it today. But he's waiting right now on the other line. He's tapping from the other side of the pond, and his room is looking really, really player. But here he is, the gaffer. I didn't know. What's the gaffer? I like that.
How's it going, MJ? How's it going, everyone who's tapping in? I can see a lot of support there from everywhere, but thanks for all the support. Yeah, so the gaffer is an English slang term for the boss. So, yeah.
I love it. The boss, dude. I love it. Gavin, thanks for being here, man. I know you've been here, I think, twice, but this is our second actually one-on-one. So this is huge. This is huge for me. How you living, bro?
I'm blessed, you know. It's still a little bit jet lagged from Arlington, which was crazy, but yeah, it's good. It's good to be on here, MJ. You know, I appreciate all the support and all the good things you say. And again, a lot of the people who are in the chats as well. When I was at Arlington, I got a chance to meet them face to face. So that was cool. And obviously, my boy Earl's there, and we can see Renee and Reptiles. Hey, Richie, Chris from CBR. So yeah, the support and the love from everyone's awesome, man.
Earl, hey, check it out. We were actually at Earl's table. Hey, Earl, thank you for letting me sit on your table. I appreciate it. But you had Gavin. Gavin was hanging out there. What a good time at the auction, huh? I mean, it's such a good vibe, wouldn't you say? The USARK auction.
Yeah, I mean, I was at the Tinley Chicago in 2018. I was there at the the auction, and that was crazy there. And Arlington was just as crazy, you know. I was trying to win stuff, and everyone was outbidding. I was like, because the last show at Tinley, I actually run. Miguel said to me, "Gav, bid on that retic." So I bidded on that retic on that Phantom. What was it? A Phantom something or other. I can't remember what it was, and I won it. And then I sat there at the table. They brought it over to me, bro, and I was like,
"What do I do with it?
How am I going to get this home?" You know, I was like, "How am I going to get it home?" So I said to Miguel, I said, "Miguel, you're going to have to keep this, bro." So I don't know what he's done with it, but hopefully he's still got it. If not, he sold it and donated the money to USARK. But yeah, fantastic auction. The guy's old, you know. So yeah, it's awesome, man.
So the last time you've been to a United States reptile show was how long? After Arlington was what the last show was Tinley, right?
Yeah, so I was in Tinley 2018. Then I was over at Canada at the 2019 in the October. That was awesome as well. And then obviously COVID hit, you know, and that was it. So the minute I knew the next show was Arlington, Earl was on my case. Like, Gav, you got to come over. I was like, dude, I need to get out of this country. I'm coming. And just about made it over. Yeah, so it was fantastic. Missed the Friday, but, you know, got there Friday evening. But, yeah, it was all good. It was all good.
If you don't mind, Gavin, just because I'm sure there's other people that are dying to get out of the country, maybe visit, you know, like for instance, you know, I'm trying to come to the UK really bad, and I'm sure people want to come from the UK to America. So what was the traveling like? I mean, do you feel like it was a big hassle? Do you feel like it was doable? Do you kind of explain, and while you're doing, I'm going to get my water, but I want to kind of hear how your travels were to the United States and going back home.
Yeah, so long and short of it is normally it's about an 8 to 9 hour flight from the UK over to the US. However, this flight, I wanted to fly from an airport closer to me. So I flew from Birmingham Airport, but unfortunately I had to do connecting flights. So that means I had to go from Birmingham to Amsterdam, from Amsterdam to Atlanta, then from Atlanta to Dallas. So it was roughly about a sort of like, I want to say 17-hour travel. But, you know, it was well worth it. The flights were kind of short hops, if you like. So I wasn't on the plane for a full 8 to 9 hours. It was just literally a few plane rides off, spend a couple of hours at the airport, then back on another plane. So it wasn't too bad. The hardest thing is getting your COVID certificate, you're fit to fly. That was the pain in the backside. Other than that, pretty much it was pretty sweet. So yeah, Earl had his man Alan come and pick me up from the hotel in a limo. So that was pretty dope. Managed to get
Oh
to
wow, you're really setting the bar here, Earl. I mean, because I'm dying to have Gavin come to San Diego or come to the West Coast, and if you're doing that, then I can't let that slide, bro. Like,
yeah, literally Earl hooked us up. I mean, I can't say enough about Earl. It was the first time I met him in person, but we FaceTime, we spoke for years over the phone and stuff. And his other half, Ren, who we call Mama Ren, she just adopted me straight away. And my camera guy, Dan from D&D Royals, he went over on the Thursday because, like I said, I had a few issues with my flight getting over there. And they absolutely took Dan under their wing and me as well when I got there. But yeah, I can't say enough about Earl and Ren. Absolutely awesome, amazing, genuine people.
And honestly, Gavin, this is why I get so hyped up. I mean, you hear how I talk about go to shows, but because you get to meet amazing people like that. You know what's crazy is I don't think me and Earl have ever spoken once, and maybe once or twice over Instagram, but we have talked so much in person. And I feel like I've had with Troy, Best Dressed Balls, there's people it's not that it's not that I don't not that we're not good friends, but I mean we really connect so well in person. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people should take advantage of that, especially if they want to become known more or know more people. Because if it's one thing people always come and tell me, Gavin, is well, how do you know so many people? Or how'd you get connected? I'm like, dude, you put yourself out there. That's all you do.
Yeah, I mean, that was the main thing for me. Like I said, coming over to the shows in America is just to show my support back, to say thank you to you guys for supporting me. The least I can do is get over there, take pictures with you, sign T-shirts, whatever, get interviewed. For me, the networking side is as important as anything else. It's for me, getting over to the shows, meeting people like Phil Goss, John Lehman in person, JT from Reptile, speaking to Brian Potter, Brian was like, "Hey, Gavin." And I was like, "Hey, dude, what are you doing here?" And it was just obviously because he remembered me from the Tinley show. And it's just fantastic. It's and it was crazy because there was people walking past me going, Is that Gavin? Gavin, what are you doing here? And it was just great, man. I mean, it was the first time in Texas. The Texan people are fantastic. So yeah, I can't say anything else. The Arlington show was, very similar to the Tinley show, but a bit more relaxed. You could go around, talk to people, chat, this, that, and the other. So yeah, it was a real good experience. Just spend some quality time in Texas.
So after the show, how long did you hang out for? I forget when you flew back. When did you go back home?
So we flew back on the Tuesday lunchtime. So we flew back then, got back into the UK for about Wednesday morning. So we had some good fun on the Monday. Me, Earl, Dan went over to Air Force Air Rifles, and we went over there with Ton Jones, and we were blowing some amazing. We were shooting some shit. Literally, we were blowing stuff up. It was absolutely awesome. And the guys over at Air Force Air Rifles were just amazing people, so welcoming. We got a tour of the whole factory, the process. We saw some top secret stuff which I can't get into, but yeah, it was absolutely awesome, man.
I mean, I for years, right? My dad had guns and whatnot, but I wasn't always around guns, and I've always respected guns. Unfortunately, I've had people shoot themselves with guns, and I've always just been you know what I mean? But shout out to my boy Dennis, the Serpent Smiths. It's a good buddy of mine who's, a part of the Reptile family and whatnot. And he lives fucking 5 minutes from me. And he took me shooting, bro. And it was the best thing ever, man. What a rush. I shot a 500 caliber or a Magnum or a Smith & Wesson 500. It blew my face back. Not literally, but literally my face felt like shooting it. It was insane. What a rush. But I mean, man, guns are just no joke.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'll be brutally honest. We were shooting these air rifles, and listen, I mean, over here we don't obviously have live firing weapons as such, like you guys can do. Right. But seriously, what Air Force air rifles are doing over there is just phenomenal. There was some top secret stuff. I was sworn not to say anything, but trust me, guys, if you're not into guns or if you want to try something a bit different, you know, trust me, get over to Air Force Air Rifles, check them out. Thanks to Earl and Ton for taking me and Dan over there, because it really, really opened my eyes to what's going on over there. Amazing.
All right, so I want to be honest with you, Gavin, and I don't expect, like, you know, because I'm not sure how food is in the UK, but let me just kind of ask you what you like to eat in Texas. Like, are you a big barbecue guy? Like, do you do sushi while you're there? Like, what is it that you like to eat when you're in Texas?
Dude, when I was over there, we were fortunate enough that sort of Earl really looked after us, and he cooked some amazing burgers the one night.
Nice.
But what was crazy was I was at the hotel the one morning, and I just went down for breakfast because man's got to eat, you know, got to start the day off right.
Right.
I cooked myself some waffles, and these waffles were in the shape of the Texas state.
Right.
You know, it was crazy. I took some pictures of it and everything, man. So I had to show Earl them, but that was crazy. So Earl did me a special burger, which was in the shape of the Texas state. It was awesome, man. But yeah, I'm a meat eater. I love to eat meat and stuff. So yeah, we went to a Mexican place, I think, when we were over there.
Oh no.
I think it was.
Was it Tex-Mex?
No, it wasn't that, bro.
Oh, thank God.
Earl will be the best one to tell us, but yeah, it was. I'm sure it was a Mexican place. Yeah, I'm sure it was.
Let me say,
the food was fantastic. The food was fantastic.
I'm just, and I'm gonna tell you right now how, like, legit. There's this thing called Tex-Mex where it's Texan Mexican food, right? Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's all I've really had, which I don't like Tex-Mex. I mean, if you ever heard me talk about Tex-Mex, just not a fan. But shout out to my boy Ari Flago. I flew into Austin, Texas, went to Johnson City, and he has this Mexican restaurant that's right next to his house. And it was fucking delicious. I was like, dude, this is what I'm talking about. So you guys do have Mexican food. Why do you guys put fried chicken in a taco? Like, why do you guys do that? Like, I don't understand. It's just not my thing. So I didn't, but some people love Tex-Mex. Like, they're like, they die for it. And I'm just like, what? Like, that's not real Mexican food. But I mean, listen, at least you have some, Earl I trust. When it comes to Texas, Earl is Texas. So you're in a good place when you're with Earl. I'm sure. All right. Well, listen, I'm curious to know exactly how your 2021 breeding season went overall and how you feel about it. Let's kind of talk about things as far as your productions.
Sure. So 2021 was a fantastic year. It was a late year for me.
Right.
I bred 52 females for my projects, and I had 50 clutches on the ground. So year to date, I'm roughly running about 94% success rate. Obviously 2021 was running at 96% success rate, which is when you're working with projects, you kind of need those females to go so you can give you some holdbacks and what have you. So yeah, the 2021 season was good, even though it was a little bit late. This season's kind of running a little bit late as well, but it's all good, So yeah, last year was a fantastic season.
Let me ask you this, Gavin. When you say late, give us an idea. Like, I mean, can you give me an idea like what clutch typically went late for you or how things went late?
Yeah, so normally I'd have like a clutch on the ground, say February time.
Right.
But I think my first clutch on the ground was like April. Even though it's a couple of months, it's kind of, when we're producing these animals and making these fantastic combos, those couple of months can make a massive difference because, when you're working with projects, kind of this hobby is completely and utterly, you've got to have patience. You've got to have patience. But as humans, we don't have patience. It's kind of like that's one thing we struggle with. So yeah, it's kind of I'm about 2-3 months behind schedule. But like I said, finished the season on 50 clutches, which was fantastic. And yeah, I bred 52. So even though I was a little bit late, can't complain.
Now you've been in the game respectively since 2010. Is that right? Or when did Balls to You become the brand?
So
2014.
Yeah, so I started in 2002. So I was on to Ralph Davis forums, like RDR's forums. I was on Bush League Breeders Club, all that sort of bullpython.net. Again, I've said this story before. I was actually sort of working on my friend's car, and he was working at a reptile store, and he was paying me in snakes.
Right.
And so 2008 was when I had my first clutch.
Okay.
And then basically 2014 was when the balls to you kicked off, because I established the balls to you thing again because I was asking for help and no one wanted to help me, but they wanted to sell me snakes. So the whole balls to you movement was born, you know. So yeah, so that's the quick little rundown.
So, you know, Gavin, this is what I was saying earlier. Like I stumbled across your channel and I was loving the information I was getting. And then after a year or so, I saw you stand up for yourself on something. And I can't really remember what the details were, but you're basically like, and you know, it's funny. These are people that I'm sure aren't even around anymore, but you were like, it was a video about you fucking calling some people out. Like, meaning like, don't call me Gav. Like, I'm not your fucking homie. Like, it was something like that. Right. And I was like, dude, and real quick, I just want to finish. That gave me so much inspiration to speak how I wanted to feel about things. Just so you know, I just wanted to say how much that inspired me. But go ahead.
No, that's cool. I mean, my whole thing with the way I am is I'm always there to help anyone. Right. And for me, you know, we were part of this organization, part of a member. We were a paying member of this organization, and this organization wanted to ban certain mutations, not just within ball pythons, but also within, you know, other species like geckos and carpet pythons. And it was kind of taken as members. I felt like we should have been able to at least come together as a collective and have some sort of a vote and say, okay, we will maybe not bring them to the show, or maybe we shouldn't, or whatever. But there was other issues that needed to be addressed, like breeders selling snakes that had just brought them from Europe, so flipping snakes. There was people who were selling snakes with RIs, with mites, that just come out of the egg, you know, and they were selling them on the table. There was other issues that I felt that needed to be addressed before that. And I did a video basically saying, look, you know, we need to address these issues before we go on about banning a particular morph. And there was one breeder that I actually looked up to at the time, and he posted on Facebook, and everyone knows I'm not on Facebook. He posted a post, and he was calling me Gav, and he was going off as if we were some sort of friends. Now, the minute, if someone's got a problem with me, if they want to bring it to me, we'll talk about it, we'll get it over and done with, and, you know, tomorrow's a new day. Right. However, I felt this guy had done it in a cowardly way by posting on Facebook instead of coming to me direct, or at least on a platform that I was on. And he was kind of then attacking me on his post. So the whole video, which everyone, I get a lot of credit, a lot of people say that they really enjoyed that video because it was kind of me just being real, just being straight. And literally that was what it was. At the end of the day, I didn't have a problem with that guy. In fact, like I said, I respected him. But when he went on the attack like that on a Facebook, on a platform that he knows I'm not on, to me, it was just a coward's thing, you know? So I just addressed that matter. He then, because again, my phone was blowing up, MJ. You know, people sending me screenshots. Oh, can't believe he's saying this about you. And so I reacted, and I put a video out there, and I just, you know, because at the end of the day, he wasn't on the platforms I was on, but I knew he was on YouTube, as in he was on there and he'd watched this. So I kind of confronted him without literally calling him out. You know, and confronted him and just said, look, if you want to reach out, you got anything to say, you know where I'm at. And then he sort of posted another post on Facebook again. And it was just like, boy, this is just crazy. And after that, MJ, loads of people were coming out the woodwork, sending me screenshots of how this breeder had been bullying and attacking people on certain groups.
Right.
And my phone was blown up. And this guy was, he was meant to be the guru, or a guru in the UK, as he calls himself.
Right.
And he was just, he was so negative and such on the attack. I was just like, dude, what have you got to be this way for? You've got out the wrong side of bed every day? Or is this just your attitude? And I'll tell you a story. So there was a guy, I'm not going to say who, but there was a guy that put a deposit down on a pastel clown from me. He put a £200 deposit down on this pastel clown, and I was due to take it to the show for him to collect. Anyway, this guy didn't turn up, and I tried to get hold of him, couldn't get hold of him. As it turned out, this breeder, who I had respected, had told this guy not to buy anything from me. And because the guy who had placed the deposit was a young, up and coming, he just got into the hobby, he kind of, he sort of followed what this guy said.
Oh,
and this dude, basically, I think it was probably about 4 years later, or 3 years later, we got to talking, and he said, "You know what, Gav?" He said, "I've got a confession to make." He said, "Do you remember when you sold a pastel clown and the guy never turned up at the show and this, that, and the other?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, "That was me." I was like, "What?" And then he told me the story that this breeder had basically, he felt like he'd pushed him into not going forward with the sale. So this breeder's just, So yeah, and I don't know if he's still in the hobby. I don't know. I don't care either, to be honest with you. But people like that, we don't need in the hobby or in the industry, MJ. We can have our falling outs. We can have a disagreement. That's fine. We're not always going to see eye to eye. But ultimately, people like that who go on the attack, people asking questions, and they just go on the attack. It's just, we don't need them sort of people.
And there's also people on the other end of this kind of depressing. I call these people bottom feeders. Like, these are just bottom feeders because at the end of the day, they're so desperate to get something they can't have. And it's unfortunate because the guy who tried blasting you is somebody who already had a name, right? But let me kind of explain my situation, right? There's a guy in the UK. The thing is, this guy is so hurting for attention. Me saying his name would be such a win for him. So I'm just going to address him as bottom feeder. So this bottom feeder from the UK, he'd been tagging me and stuff for about over a year. Okay. And I just kind of like knew he was like weird or something, just wanted some sort of attention. I just didn't pay no mind to it. Well, this speed up to about maybe 2 weeks ago, you're the same situation. I have somebody sending me screenshots of this guy coming out of the woodworks, tagging me in a story saying MJ's true colors, and it's like a homosexual shopping. And I don't care. I fuck with the gay people. What's wrong with being gay? But anyways, he put MJ's true colors and with laughing faces. Again, I'm like, I don't care. Like, this he's still thinking about me. That's crazy. But then what really got to me is he went to my wife's account and started putting pictures of my wife on his story and saying, "Look at this guy. He lets his wife show his body like this. This is everybody's wife." You know what I mean? And I'm just like, this guy's trying this hard. And I'm not going to lie. That's when I did go to him. And I was like, "Look, buddy, like what's going on here?" And he just, the way he responded was obvious to what his intentions were. Like, he wanted to get me to that level. He wanted to get me wound up, calling me every name. And, again, this guy's in the UK. So what can I do really, like, for him to say all this stuff and do all this stuff? But this is what I'm getting at. This guy, I know, because like you, other people has told me this guy has fucking done this to me and done that to me. And for over a year, this guy has been a peasant, has been a fucking piece of shit to other people in the hobby. And the thing is, I have a name for myself. I could easily just, I don't give a fuck about you. Look at me, and I can't even see you. But the average person trying to come up in this game, who has to encounter some trash like that might get pushed away. They might not ever get to learn to love this hobby because of piece of shit bottom feeders like that. So what I'm trying to say is, it sucks because, you know, one thing I noticed when I went to this bottom feeders account, I saw all the people who followed him, and I could tell you what, like, at the end of the day, I'm not judging who follows who, but if you know somebody's a piece of shit and you choose to follow them, I will support you. I really judge people off who they follow and who they support. I really do. And I don't give a fuck. And that's just how I roll. But at the end of the day, Gavin, I wanted to ask you, like, what would be your advice for somebody who doesn't have a big name, who encounters some bullying like this? Like, what's the best way to move around something like this from your experience, you feel like?
Well, the first thing I can say to anyone out there who's encountered, and it tends to come from Facebook, MJ. A lot of the negativity comes from Facebook. I'm not saying all of it, a lot of it does. And what I say to people is, you know, there are other platforms out there like Instagram, which is a lot more positive. You know, and if you're unsure, you can jump on someone's Patreon, because most of us, like you, like me, we have a Discord server, and our Discord community, big shout out to the Balls to You community as well. Massive shout out to them guys. We are a collective, and we're a movement, and we are like, there's no such thing as a stupid question. And, you know, the Discord server for me tends to be the place where, you know, I say to people, look, if you're not feeling the love on Facebook, come off Facebook. Trust me, spend a week off Facebook. Just try something different. Go onto Instagram. I'll guarantee you'll find a lot more positiveness, and just step away. And also, you know, I know there's a lot of breeders out there in the UK and abroad and in other countries which, like you said, tend to target the new people. They'll do one of two things. They'll either shoot them down and say, oh, that's if you don't know what temperatures you should be keeping your ball pythons at, you shouldn't be keeping ball pythons. Well, we all started that way, you know, asking questions. And then you've got people who will manipulate new people coming into the hobby, who will take them under the wing and go, listen, I taught Gavin at Balls to You all he knows, or I taught so-and-so all he knows. I'll teach you, you know.
Oh, God.
And you're like, really? I've had that one before as well. I've had breeders who are bottom feeders, like you said, and they have turned around and said, I taught Gavin at Balls to You all he knows. And I've got big connections in the US, and yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But all I can say is literally don't give up. Keep going, doing what you're doing. Speak to people, interact with the right people. And again, just like you said, if you're following someone who's talking very negative, ask yourself, if they're talking negative about that person, what would they be saying negative about you? So, you know, I don't have time for that sort of stuff, bro. Literally just, if you just unfollow them and go and be a bit more positive and follow other positive people.
Check this out, and go ahead and shout it out. How many people on your Patreon page, Gavin? I know you've had one for a while. So how many people on your Patreon page at this point?
At the moment, I think we're up to about 200 members, something like that. So yeah, it's. I mean, the community is so strong. Like, we use the hashtag Balls to You community, and because I said, MJ, Balls to You isn't me. You know, I'm Gavin from Balls to You. You know, I'm a part of the Balls to You community. The guys that run the community for me are absolutely amazing. I've got so many people who, for me, you know, the movement of Balls to You, the whole sort of the meaning behind it is we all support each other and we help each other. Now, that's not saying we all agree, and that's the good thing about us as well. We all have had our sort of, not disagreements, but let's say someone like some Sunset Project and some people don't. We don't fall out with each other. We don't start, you know what I mean? We don't start like lynching each other up and all that sort of stuff. It's a general absolute love and support for everyone, and we all help each other. And I think moving forward, personally, that's where the right people are going to be in those sort of platforms, if you like.
But I feel like the best, and I'm sure this is going to nail this on the head for you as well. But I feel like the best thing anybody could do that's coming new into this is join a Patreon page, because
100%.
you're not going to let no bullying, none of that shit go down. I'm not going to let none of that shit go down. Miguel's not. Justin Kabelka. Like, you could choose what route you want to go. I mean, I have trappers that are part of like multiple. I have some that are part of yours, some are part of Kabelka's. Like, you have to invest in your community. That's just how it works. Otherwise, you're going to take the gamble of meeting somebody who just does not give a fuck about you, and they could toxic your train of thinking. You could really mess the way you look at things by listening to somebody who's just fucked up.
Yeah, 100%. And ultimately, and again, it's all about, for me, MJ, it's kind of it's a circle thing. So if we can educate new people coming into the hobby, if we can educate them into having a good experience and teach them how to keep the animals correctly, we're going to have a lot less issues in the media with animals being kept incorrectly or animals being dumped, which then links into like the USARK stuff. And again, I'm a massive supporter of USARK. I donated. I tried to win so many things at the auction when I was there, but I won the fully signed T-shirt, the LSR T-shirt, which is very, very appropriate.
I signed
that's
it.
going to be, yeah, bro. So that I signed it as well. That's the thing. So that's going to be in a frame in the HQ here. Generated some money for USARK, because ultimately, as a team, as a collective, hopefully, if anything like that happens here, I know Phil Goss was talking about maybe having like a UK ARK.
That'd be sick.
Yeah, so anything we can do to support each other across the pond as a reptile family is so important. And that's the same thing with new people coming in. The more bums we get on seats, the better.
Hey guys, we're just getting the gears warmed up here. So if you're just now tapping in, do my boy Gavin a favor. Let's get the likes up. Like, look, there's a big gap right there. And Gavin's just not a gap kind of guy. So if we could get those likes up real quick and
hit that like button, guys.
Yeah, let's hit that like button for my boy. Get at a respectable level, because shit's about to get hot. So, but yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up, Gavin, because at the end of the day, I feel the biggest reason behind your 200 plus Patreon members is like, look what you do with your YouTube channel. I can only imagine the kind of help you do for people who are paying for your attention, right? And what I'm trying to say is like, how many people come to you with no plan at all whatsoever, or maybe not sure what to do with their plans, and you maybe like help them? Or, do you have a tier where you do something like that for somebody?
Yeah, so obviously there's 4 tiers. I've tried to make it, MJ, where it wasn't super expensive,
Right.
The industry is very different over here to what it is in the US, but 100%. I wanted also to make it aware that what I find, MJ, is a lot of the bottom feeders won't pay for a subscription charge. Okay,
right.
So that eliminates the bottom feeders straight away.
Right away.
People who are there are people who genuinely want to learn. They genuinely want to tap into your information, tap into your knowledge, speak to you. And again, there is a genuine need for it. We do, there was one guy who's got some fantastic animals. He was just buying animals left, right, and center, and he had no direction. So there is stuff like that where they can come to me, they can send me their breeding plans or their list of animals, and I can work through and work out a solid breeding plan for them based on what they like and what they want to work with. Because, we've all done it. We've all had brought things on spare of the moment, and so it's just about cutting off the dead weight and just rescheduling or reshuffling your collection so that it works for them moving forward. So yeah, it's important. There's a lot of stuff as well, MJ. So you know me, my channel's just about helping people, but I also used to get a lot of people who would take my information and use it on their YouTube channel, and they would not give the full facts, because it wasn't their information. They just taken it from a video. And what I found was they wasn't giving the full facts. So they was only giving half a story, which could end up hurting whoever's watching that video, could end up hurting their animals or creating issues for them. So I kind of slowed down a little bit on the informational side of things. But on the Patreon, you know, it's fully there. You know, there was one video I put out where I showed getting slugs out of a female, the whole process, showed how to do it very safely. The snake was perfect, you know, and other stuff like that, which is stuff that I don't really want to put on YouTube because, yeah, it can be taken and used against us in the wrong way, you know. So
that's so smart. And, you know, I feel like other big people should take some pages out of that book and put more of that, like, graphic stuff, which isn't like, we know what we're doing for the animal, right? But the average person who's coming across it will take that information, do what they want with it, put it in PETA's hands or who knows. But I feel like the Patreon is like, you're building a trustworthy community. You know what I mean? For the most part. But here's the thing. Like, I had something in my head where I was like, you know, like, because there was a point, Gavin, where I had some Patreon members that weren't really a good fit. Like, I always felt like there was some sort of drama going on, and I was like, and I just wasn't liking it. And it came to a point where, like, those people, like, they exited out, and I was like, oh, thank God, you know, they're gone. And I was like, I just don't want to get into so many people where I have to deal with toxic people every now and then. So, I mean, are you ever juggling or having to check people or having to, like, remind people, hey, look, that's not, or your people or your own community doing that for you?
So I'm fortunate enough that so far that all the members of the Patreon who have joined are like-minded people wanting to learn, wanting to support the community, and again, the Discord community. Again, there's moderators and stuff like that, and we've got trusted. We've got what's called TCMs, trusted community members, and you know, we all have banter, we all have a good laugh, but it's all genuinely good people wanting to help each other. Now, I have had to turn people away because, for me, again, it's not about the money aspect. It's more so creating that trusted community. Yeah. So I've had a few people approach me saying, hey, Gav, I want to join your Patreon. Where's the link? And I've had to turn around and say, unfortunately, I don't think that my Patreon is for you. You know, I believe this Patreon is for, you know what I mean, in that sort of way. So I do kind of vet them beforehand. And I've had one guy who said, look, you know, I'll pay the whole year subscription, you know, just let me join. And I was like, dude, it's not going to happen. You know, it's just, you've upset a few people, you know, it's just not the right thing. So yeah, I do try and filter that out. You can't always, but I'm fortunate enough that all the members of the Patreon are fantastic, genuine people. And again, they are like-minded as well.
Now, I don't want to hang up too much on this, but I am so curious because at the end of the day, Gavin, you have strong feelings behind the way you feel about something, right? So if you have somebody that you just aren't a fan of, and you have all the reason in the world not to be a fan of that person, but you see another associate of yours kind of being a fan of theirs, how do you delegate that? Like, I mean, I'm trying not to take certain things personal with certain people, but I feel like you are who you hang around with no matter what. Like, if you're going to be seen with somebody, but then you want to try to talk shit about that person when you're not with them, I feel like that's like, you need to figure that out. But in your opinion, I mean, like, do you just kind of separate yourself from somebody that you feel like is associating with somebody that you don't want to be around, or like, how do you work around that?
Yeah, so basically, you know, I'll always give people the time of day, regardless. But if there's a person out there that, you know, I think is an absolute moron for the community and not very well for the community, or is not the right face for the community, let's say, they're associates. I'll speak to them. You know, if I bump into them, I'll shake the hand, I'll say hello. But it's not like, you know, they kind of, we've all got that mutual respect. You know, I respect their friends, but we just don't link in or anything like that. It's just just a mutual thing, you know. So we still sort of say hello, shake hands, how you doing? Hope you're okay. Is the family okay? Because at the end of the day, life's too short. But if they want to continue to blow smoke up that person's ass or kiss their ass, then I'd just leave them to them, you know.
So it's how you doing, balls to you.
Yeah, balls to you. Yeah, literally. So
Oh,
yeah,
I love
it's just one of them things, you know. So I just you know what, MJ, there's so much. I've got so many positive people in my life in the reptile community that, you know, what I've started to do and what I find is very empowering is if you are constantly, if you find yourself, if someone's constantly posting something very negative and you find yourself going, well, I don't agree with that guy, try unfollowing that person. Yeah, just unfollow them and see how you get on mentally, because a lot of the times when they're negative, it brings you down as well. And in
It
this
does.
hobby community, bro, you know, being positive is what it's all about. You know, listen, if one of my customers or friends or, you know, someone in the US that I don't know hits a combo before I do, dude,
Congrats.
you know what I mean? I much love for that, much respect. But I'm not going to hate on him. I'm not going to go, oh, look at him. He shouldn't. Oh, I can't believe he's hit that. Da, da, da. If you're in this hobby and you find yourself being surrounded by people like that who are talking down about other people, just disconnect from them. You know, I mean, a lot of people who have brought animals from me have hit the combo before I have, and I'm absolutely over the moon for them.
There's a saying, you know, a pig doesn't fly straight. You know, you get too greedy and you just become all over the place. And
Yeah.
I want to say one thing I've taken good note from you throughout these years, Gavin, is I've never seen you, you know, clutch out anything more than you want. I mean, I feel like you've been dialed in with how many clutches you produce every year, right? I mean, is 50 been around that number, or how high have you gone? Like what's
Yeah.
like the
50, I mean, 50 is my highest to date because the way I do it, MJ, is everything I breed is for me. I'm
Right.
my best customer. The reason
100%.
why I'm doing this is because I want to make the stuff. It's me what I want to work with. It's me that I want to please, you know? So everything that I produce, predominantly the clutches are for me. Obviously, in that clutch, if you don't hit what you want, then obviously you can go back to the drawing board and start again next year, or you can sell that clutch and then go and buy the animal that you do need from another breeder. So you're still in the game.
Right.
So for me, yeah, you know, I will only breed. And again, I will always try and increase my clutches because not because I want to produce more, but because my projects are growing. So naturally, as your projects grow, your clutches are going to grow. So if you want to hit, I don't know, ultra male pieds, you start off maybe with one female that's a double het. Next year, you may want to produce from the other female. Now you've got two females. And so you're going to get hopefully two clutches. So as your projects progress, and you know, your clutches are slowly going to increase. But the one thing that I don't want to do, I don't want to make it a chore, you know, because I love and enjoy this. So I don't want to make it a chore.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, what's your suggestion for somebody? Because I could tell you right now, a lot of people see other people's success. They portray it as like, oh, I could do. Oh, am I there?
Hello?
Cool.
Yeah, I'm
Am I
here, bro.
So I'm like, I feel like if in your first year, you're really trying to like pursue over 10 clutches and do all this crazy stuff before, if you even know you're good at it, you're really shooting yourself in the foot. I mean, that's why I can't stress it when I have all these, you know, when I have newer people come to me wanting to get their first clutch in their first couple of years. And I'm like, dude, that's not the game plan here. Like the clutch is going to come. But if you're like, if you're losing sleep over it and you just started, then you're really shooting yourself in the foot. Like you need to train your way of thinking. But I mean, for instance, I mean, what's an ideal first year for anyone you feel like when, even if you have 20 females who could breed, what do you feel like is like ideal for the first person breeding, the first time breeding, you feel like?
So I've recently started doing a series on the Patreon, and it's based on well, the formula is, you can start this formula whether you're an advanced keeper, breeder, or an intermediate, or a beginner. And the idea is based on it's based on 10 females and 10 males. So in other words, you start your collection off with 10 females, 10 males. That gives you an even amount of number, where back in the day it used to be like, oh, you need 5 females to 1 male. What we've learned over the years, and this is one of the first things that I always talked about from early back in my videos, is backup males. You need backup males, because that male may not breed with that female due to compatibility. Maybe he's not ready. But if you've got a backup male, you're going to ensure that the chances are something's going to happen. So I tried to tell people, start off with 10 hatchlings, 10 females, 10 males, whether you get your 10 females first, whether you get your, whatever you want to do. And if we work on an average MJ, 60% is probably where you're going to be at. So 6 out of your 10 females are going to go. So ultimately, that's how I work it. So again, I try and get people in the hobby who are new coming into this to aim, like I said, between 5 and 10 clutches a year, or in their first year. But it's not about just going out and buying 10 adult females and 10 adult males. The idea with buying the hatchlings is you're growing them up. So as you're growing them up, they're sort of they're establishing themselves into your room, into your collection. And the other thing is, you're actually learning how the animal operates from being a hatchling through subadult into adulthood. And then when you go to breed them, you can actually see the change in behavior. And because you've grown them up from a hatchling, you kind of, well, that's a bit strange. Why is she doing that? Why is she bowl wrapping? Why is the male staying on the cool end and not in the warm end? Why has they stopped feeding? That used to be an absolute amazing feeder. So growing them up from a hatchling is part of the learning process, because then eventually when you do get a clutch, okay, you've kind of learned how to grow a hatchling up from a certain, from a certain age. So that's how I tend to, help people in that way. And again, there's multiple ways to do it. I know a lot of people do it in other ways, and there's no 100% right way, but that's how I try and help people and say to people, this is the best way to go.
Now, I mean, I feel like you have so many awesome, simple practices for somebody's first year breeding and whatnot. Like I learned my incubation temperatures with you, which I, to the day, to 90, I don't switch it, and it's always worked great. But in other senses, like, what do you feel like, the dieting, because you're very ASF pro, because you could do ASFs in your area, right? But for I'm in California, I can't have ASFs, right? So I mean, there's certain people, a lot of people in the United States just can't have ASFs, and it's unfortunate. But if you have somebody in your area who can't get ASFs, do you have something that you would do yourself that you would recommend to somebody if you didn't have ASFs, as far as what to offer them on their first meal, what to put them on after, and whatnot?
Yeah, so I did a video, again, it's on the Patreon, and it's how I get my ball pythons as hatchlings started. The whole process from when they hatch out to to setting them up, to getting them feeding, to how I do things. Now, what is important if you don't have ASFs is you've got to understand the ball pythons. Ball pythons predominantly like mouse species. Okay,
right, true.
So they prefer mice. And in Africa, if you look up all the species of rodents, predominantly most of them are mice. Now, you can certainly start your animals off on mice. That's fine. Mice and again, when we look at, because it's a python, we think it should be eating this massive prey item. When in actual fact, ball pythons tend to do better on smaller prey items, more regular. So ASFs for me are full of protein, full of good fats, good calcium. We can certainly see that the snakes thrive a lot better on ASFs than they do with Norwegian rats. and again, you know, if you're feeding your females, and again, if you think about it, MJ, you know, a female in the wild doesn't have scales, and it doesn't have a calendar to say how big they are and how old they are before they can breed. We as a community, we have that guideline where we want to try and help new people, and we say females 2 years of age or 3 winters. Shout out to Mark Mendek for that one, because he was the guy that came out with the 3 winters.
Nice.
You know, 2 years of age, 3 years, 1,500 grams or above for a female. Now, can they breed earlier and smaller? Of course they can. Is it advised as a new breeder to try that? No. You need to be guided by the right people on how to do it and when to do it. Like, you can have a female that's 1,000 grams and she's just not got she's not there. She hasn't got the body tone. And then you can have another female that's 1,000 grams, which is smashing food. You can see she's a monster, and you know that potentially by the time she gives you a clutch of eggs, she's going to be up to, like, you know, 1,500, 1,800 grams, you know? So a lot of it is experience. So yeah, ASFs for me are the go-to. Mice are fine. Rats are fine. Don't get me wrong. A lot of breeders feed rats and they have fantastic success. It's just I've seen extra things with ASFs that, and again, other breeders, JP from Canada, you know, dude, you've had him on, we and him chat, and he's seen a massive difference in a lot of his collections and stuff with ASFs. So it's the proof's in the pudding, you know. But
Yep.
You know.
I mean, I could say I do miss giving my snakes ASFs. I thought they personally, just seeing how much they more enjoyed smashing the shit of those rats. I never had anything go off ever, hardly ever. And to kind of back up what you just said, I don't normally have males turn off when they breed, like, because I have big males, you know, and probably because I missex them, and that's probably what happened. But anyways,
we all do that.
Yeah. So this year I ran into a couple males who just went off food after a couple, like, girls that they went to, and they're not losing weight, but like they have a busy schedule this year, you know. So if they go off food now, the girls I want them to breed in April, May, and June, that might not happen if I can't get food in them. So 4 weeks go by and I can't get this male to eat, and I'm a little stressed out, but I'm like, just give it a fucking jumbo mouse. Let's see what happens. Took that jumbo mouse like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Like it was nothing.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I give here's the other thing is sometimes the pythons, our ball pythons, won't feed because the prey item is too much. It's too big, you know. So I explain to people, you know, try with a smaller meal, you know, just because it's, like you said, a jumbo mouse or even a small mouse, whatever, something's better than nothing, you know. So still keeping its digestive system going is so important for the health of the animal and its process. And again, a lot of my breeder males during breeding season, they won't take like a 40 or a 50 gram ASF, but they'll take a 20 gram ASF. Guess what? If that's what they're going to eat, you can have it. And then once breeding's finished, they go back up. And if they start wanting to take a bigger ASF, they can have a bigger ASF, you know. Something's better than nothing.
And I will say too, from experience, just because a snake, like, let's just say you have a snake that you're raising up, let's say it gets to small rats and you see that it's smashing small rats. I've seen a snake go from that to just not eat for fucking 8 months out of nowhere. Like, you know, that you hear about that 1,000 gram wall and shit like that. I feel a lot of that happens because they're fed so much and they get to a point where they're just like, I just don't want to eat. And it stops. I mean, I haven't had that 1,000 gram wall in a long, long time. I mean, because now I feel like I'm not overdoing it. You know, I do things more on the smaller side than on the bigger side always, you know, and I still offer small rats, but nothing bigger than a small rat. And I keep it, no matter how big the ball python is. I mean, as far as an adult, it doesn't get bigger than a small rat.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, you know, I feed my hatchlings once every 5 days. So I feed them a small ASF. Everything in my facilities is fed on an ASF, whether it's something I'm holding back or whether it's something I'm selling on.
Right.
You know, every 5 days, so the 5th, the 10th, the 15th, the 20th, the 25th, the 30th, that way it gives me a good catalogue. And oh, today's the 25th. I've got to feed my hatchlings. Or today's the 30th. I've got to feed. It's easier to do. And what I find, like I said, when it comes down to my collection, the breeders and stuff like that, dude, those females will smash a 40 and 50 gram ASF once a week, let's say. Some of the breeding females, when they're growing the follicles, are up to once every 5 days. So 40 to 50 gram ASF once every 5 days. And then, like you said, they'll get to a point where they'll just stop and they'll go, no, I've had enough. And it's almost like this species of python, you know, it's very rare you see a fat ball python, very rare, or an overweight ball python. It's like they kind of just switch off. You can get boas and berms and anacondas and retics, and Garrett talks this, about this a lot. Garrett Hardle and other retic breeders say that actually we were overfeeding retics. We don't need to feed them that much. We can have healthy clutches, healthy animals, because in the wild they wouldn't have access to all this food. So, smaller meals, I believe, it's better for them. The digestive system, there's not much strain on their stomach, all that sort of stuff. And I just find it works a lot better.
So, Gavin, I mean, dude, your projects are like through the roof right now, man. Like your clown pied game is super thick. I mean, you have amazing ultra mill stuff going on this year. What are you really most excited about? You feel like, I mean, obviously the year's just now started and whatnot, but
yeah,
what is something you're really hoping works out for you this year that you can maybe share with us?
Dude, everything at the moment that's breeding, I'm really excited for. But one of the main things I'm looking forward to is like ultra male clowns this season. Producing some more
hell yeah,
ultra male pieds. Again, I'm sort of working on everything in my collection. MJ can cross over. So we've got the clown pied project, we've got the ultra male pied project, we've got the ultra male clown project. All those three projects alone can be crossed over. We're producing some, hopefully producing some Orange Dream ultramale combos, where again we can cross that over. We're producing some Orange Dream pied combos, which will be 100% het ultramale. So again, everything can kind of cross over. So yeah, really working in depth. Again, producing some sunset stuff, holding some het sunset, het ultramale, het pied stuff back from last season. Obviously looking forward to next season when they start to grow and we start to interject them into the breeding season, into the breeding team. So yeah, really looking forward to that. Obviously, last season just gone as well, produced the Gene X clown pied, which really looking forward for.
I saw that
project.
Where's it at?
Gene X.
Hold on, you posted it down here, I think. Or where am I
it's
going?
a bit further up, I think. We've got the Gene X into the clown, which I'm really excited for because that thing looks crazy. So it's a bit further up. Go on,
right
keep
there,
going.
right here. Isn't this it? Gene X clown?
No, keep. I can't keep going. There, yeah. So that's the first, yeah.
This one right here?
No, the one
right here. This one right here.
That's it. Yeah, yeah. So that was the first Gene X clown pied.
Oh my God, that's insane.
What the Gene X, we'll see what the Gene X can do in clown. We've seen what it's done in pied, I've hit some Gene X clowns as well. So really excited to see Gene X on the clown tip instead of it being in the pied. So we're looking forward to that as well. So yeah, cool. And hopefully we're looking forward to producing some unique clown combos as well.
I mean, your clown combos are just fucking filthy, bro. Like, look at this beauty. It looks like candy. Like, this doesn't even
dude, that was an accident, dude. That was a pure accident. So I didn't know, but the actual male, the father and the mom to that was actually a double het. So sorry, the dad's a double het, the mom was a clown het hypo. And that beauty's there. She is a Orange Dream, a pastel Orange Dream Mojave hypo clown.
Just fire too.
Yeah, she's beautiful, bro. Beautiful.
Oh my God, bro. But this is the example. I mean, like, you've always believed in quality. That's been your whole game since the beginning. Like, you've never,
Dude, quality shines through.
it really
That's
does.
that's
And
that's
look,
what
this is
it's all about.
years is just showing through this snake. Like, I could really tell that this is something you've bred back into and into. Like, it took years to get to this snake. And I feel like that's why I'm so excited about your stuff right now. You know, like, this is all stuff that you've premeditated and waited for. What's your opinion on this, man? Wow, this is crazy right here, bro. This is insane. The Ultra Male Sunset.
Dude, I think the Ultra Sun, as I've dubbed it, as we've dubbed it, should I say, the Ultra Sun for me is going to be a real interesting project. Now, I know the Ultra Male Pied is thick orange. It's beautiful. I know
Right.
the Sunset Pied has just been produced, and I'm really excited. And I was happy to see that. So I just look at that and I think, you imagine that as a pied, you know, with pied markers and stuff like that. I just, dude, there's so much to do. And again, Sunset is one of those genes. Some people love it, some people hate it. I'm not a fan of the Sunset Clown project. That's my opinion. Do
Right.
I hate on people that have got Sunset Clowns? No. Crack
No.
on. I hope you make something, because the thing is with me, MJ, I made, and this is the thing, I didn't like the Sunset until I got into it, and now I'm really buzzing for it, and that's what I love. I love people to inspire me to change my opinion to make me want to get in the project. So, seeing what Justin's going to do, what Miguel's going to do with the Sunset Clown, really looking forward to that. But for me, yeah, the Sunset Ultra Male project, along with the Pied stuff, is what I'm looking forward to as well.
So let's kind of talk about how you introed into the Sunset project, because you said yourself you weren't really a fan until you actually started working with it. So what direction did you take when you first got into the Sunset project, and who'd you go through, if you don't mind me asking?
So I picked up my Sunset Male from a gentleman called Inrock Royals over here in the UK. We did a bit of a trade. On the cards was a Sunset from Neil over at Inrock, or it was a Stranger Clown Male. Now, at the time, the Stranger Clown, there was some rumors going on about Mahogany and Stranger and all that sort of stuff. And for me, Stranger being a dominant / incomplete dominant, again, there's some stories about the supers and this, that, and the other. So there was a lot of unsurety about the Stranger. But with the Sunset, we knew it was a recessive. We knew how it worked. Very little had been done. So for me, it was kind of, you know what, I'll jump on that. And, well, my male at the time was Posset Ultra Male, Posset Albino. So I picked up the Sunset Male. The first thing I did, once he was sort of there, I bred him to an Ultra Male female. Among other females that I bred him to, like I bred him to an Orange Dream, I bred him to an Orange Dream Enchi and an Orange Dream Enchi Ivory, because I wanted to get the Orange Dream, the Enchi and the Yellow Belly into the Sunset at my end. And lo and behold, he turned out to be 100% het Ultra Male. Now, I don't know if he's het albino. I've got a beautiful albino female for him. I'm just waiting for Miguel to produce some Sunset albinos for us to see what they're going to look like before I make them. But for sure, yeah, for me, like I said, getting into the Sunset now, I'm just buzzing for it. You know, I want to see some stuff, and I like what the Sunset did to the Super Leopard. I think it was Captive Creations or Captive something.
Creation.
That's it. Yeah, they hit the Super Leopard Sunset, and it really, so there's so much to do with it that yeah, I'm just excited for it.
So, for instance, like in for you, right? You get a powerful male like a Sunset. Did you put him to a bunch of just random recessive females, or what did you do with that male? Like, what was your game plan with them?
So I knew I wanted to make the Sunset Pied because, like I said, I saw the Sunset Clown. I wasn't a fan of it. So just like, you know what, let's see what it looks like in Pied. Normal Pieds are orange. And I knew Ultra Male Pieds were vibrantly orange. So for me, and at this point, I didn't know my male was 100% het Ultra Male either. So I just
Right.
thought, you know what? At the very least, I'm working with the ultramale pieds. So if I can make some some sunset pieds in the future, we can then cross them over. Obviously, so I bred him to a pied female and produced that 6-egg clutch, which I spoke to you about that before. Got offered some big money for that, which I turned it down. So yeah, I just bred it something simple like that, like I said, to the pied, because I just wanted to make the sunset pieds. So yeah, that was it. And obviously I bred him to an ultramale female to try and prove out whether or not he was 100% het. And Neil had contacted me, said, Gav, I've just had a clutch hatch and it looks like your male is 100% het ultramale. A couple of months later, my clutch hatched, and sure enough, I'd hatched ultramales, which were 100% het sunsets. So that proved it all day long.
So Gavin, I have a wrap-up question before we get into the hot seat questions, okay? And this is just because I feel like you're important. This is an important question to ask you because you're in the UK, but you're very involved with the ball pythons. You've been doing it for a while. And if it's one thing that I'm experiencing being so diverse in the reptile industry is I have boa breeders, I have chondro breeders, I have different breeders coming to me asking me how can they get into the ball pythons or should they get into the ball pythons and whatnot. So what would be your response to anyone coming to you curious on how they should introduce or how they should get into the ball python game? Like, what's the best way into this at this point now in our lives?
So MJ, people getting into the ball python hobby, into the ball python species, are so lucky because they have access to so many fantastic breeders, so many fantastic combos and genetics, which it's mind-blowing. Back in the day, we had a handful of genetics we could get into, you know. We weren't buying 3 gene combos, we weren't buying 2 gene combos. So if anyone's getting into this, they need to be getting into it because they've seen an animal that they want to produce. Like for me, back in the day, it was the bumblebee. Then it was the Xantic clown. And I was like, dude, I've got to make them. They're just phenomenal. So that drove me forward. So anyone getting into this, I mean, I love other species as well. And I'd love to be able to keep other species, but I just need a bigger building. For me, you know, if you're going to get into it, just get into it because you want to get into it, because you see something that you like, you know, get into it because you want to work with it. Don't chase the money side of things. Just get into it because you want to work with them. Because like I said, it is they're not the most what's the word? They don't take. Obviously, when you're breeding them, they're not. You know, certain species take like 110 days to hatch eggs. These are only 54, 55 days. So, but you've still got to have that patience, you know. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there. Work with what you like and just make sure you have the patience and the passion to watch your projects come to fruition.
But you're not a big guy who believes in breeding something just to breed it, right? Like just because you have an adult and a female, I mean, do you feel like you should breed them just to see what happens, or should you be more selective with your breeding? What do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, to me, you've got to be selective with your breeding because I've been in a situation. I've only done it once where I bred an animal, and you know, when I did it, and I was like, why have I done that? Like, why did I do that pairing? It's not really what I wanted. And then when you're going and you're cutting the clutch of eggs, and kind of the excitement's not there because you know there's nothing in there that you're going to want or need. Don't get me wrong, you know, you still care for them exactly the same way. You're still going to treat them the same way, but the excitement level's not there. It's like if you breed a clown to a clown, all the babies are going to be clown. If you breed a clown to a het clown, now the excitement's jumped up because you're like, dude, I wonder what I'm going to hit. You know, the excitement set. It's like Christmas. You know, you don't know what you're going to open the eggs and what's going to be in there. So the excitement factor is a massive drive, which keeps you going because you don't know what something's going to look like. I was talking with Earl on the phone, and we were talking. He was talking about the Dark Wonder project, along with it being making Dark Wonder albino stuff. And dude, he's that excited for it no one knows what it's going to look like, and you can hear the passion and the excitement which is there. And it's the same with me. Like, you know, I'm thinking in my head, you know, ultramale sunset pieds. Wow, where do we go? You know, super chocolate ultramale clowns. You know, super chocolate ultramale clown pieds. Dude, like,
It's endless.
dude, just so excited for the future. It's crazy.
But at the end of the day, everything you're saying you're excited about is something that you manifested. This is what you want. It's not somebody else's vision. It's not fucking Earl's vision. Earl's excited for Earl. I mean, he's excited for you, but I'm saying Earl's pumped up off his vision. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like the way to excite yourself is by staying hyped up off your vision. Do what you want to do. You know what I mean?
100%. I mean, even stuff, real simple stuff like super blackhead, ultramale pieds, dude, just blows my mind. You know, it's simple things. You don't have to go 7-8 genes. You know, you can work your projects, and that's why I'm fortunate that all my collection can all cross over into each other. And for me, that's a massive thing. You know, it all crosses over into each other. So I can work the ultramale pied in with the clown pied. I can work, you know, the exantic clown in with the clown pied project. I can work, you know, the hypo clown into the hypo pied project. You know, everything that I've got going on, I can cross over and work with it and put it all together. And yeah, it works all together. So it's a massive collection in one aspect. That's one big project, you know, because it can all interlink into each other.
Right. Now, I want to say this, you know, Gavin, to kind of capitalize on everything we're talking about here. I mean, how many times are you like sitting back looking at a project and, you know, going head to head route versus like a head to visual? Do you try to avoid going head to head, or do you see that sometimes going head to head, you get really good odds and you don't mind going head to head?
I've always been a more head to visual type of person.
Right.
But the last season and this season, I am doing like head to head and kind of hoping on the odd gods.
Exciting.
For me, I'd rather do head to visual.
Right.
I've never always been a fan of doing visual to visual. But you know, I'd rather do head to visual.
Right. Respect. Awesome, man. Well, listen, this has been a great hour and a half. I appreciate your time. We're going to hit you with some hot seat questions before I let you dip out. So I hope you're cool with that, Gavin. And, you know, if it's one thing, you know, shout out to JP, but goddamn, man, he is the worst at these. So please try not to explain.
I'll do my best. I'll do my best.
Try not to give us a JP answer on every of these hot seat questions, if you don't mind. Okay. But here we go. Hot seat questions for Gavin. Balls to you. Shout out to the Balls to You community. You ready? Are you ready, Gavin?
Let's go.
Frozen Thought or live?
Frozen.
8 cut or no cut?
8 cut.
Red Chondro Neo or yellow Chondro Neo?
Ooh, yellow.
Retic or boa?
Ooh, that's a good one. Boa.
Hottest codom on the street right now?
The Bang Project.
Ooh, wow. Damn it. I wish I would have knew about that. The least hottest codom on the street right now?
Oh, God, me. That's a hard. I'd say cinnamon.
Ooh, well, it is what it is. Yay imports or boo imports?
As in import from Africa?
I mean, America to UK, UK to America, like imports in general.
Yeah.
Okay. One reptile you would love to import?
Oh, yeah. So one of them is a dwarf caiman from Nerd.
Wow. Okay. One animal we should not import?
Spitting cobras.
Respect. I think we should leave them alone. I really do. Yay sports or boo sports?
Yay sport.
Favorite sport?
I like obviously the Olympia, bodybuilding, and UFC.
Okay, favorite UFC fighter?
I'm going to say it because he's probably not the best, but he's for showmanship and stuff like that. Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor, dude, he is
He's
very,
just a showman, you know. I mean, you
yeah, he's
can't.
fun to
I mean,
watch.
there's fantastic fighters out there, but for me, showmanship, you know, yeah.
Win or lose, it's still fun to watch McGregor fight.
100%. Dude, that
Uh,
Mayweather fight that he did.
That was fun. That was awesome. The whole
build-up
promo
to
for
that
that,
was
the whole promo for that was
Dude,
just
the build up
showing
to that was
himself.
awesome, dude. The build up to that was awesome.
That guy's made for entertainment, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Big flexor or no flexor?
Yeah, big flexor.
Yeah, I love it. Steak or fish?
Ooh. Oh, I'm a fish man at the moment.
Okay, favorite fish to eat?
Dude, salmon.
Yeah, you like salmon, huh? All right.
Yeah, I mean, I've gone off steak a little bit, but
Right.
yeah, I do like a good steak every now and again.
Let's see. Yay alcohol or boo alcohol?
Yeah, alcohol. Dude, I've
Favorite-
just finished.
All right.
I'm empty.
Favorite alcohol beverage?
Rum.
Rum. Awesome. David Bowie or Elton John?
Oh. Both of them fantastic stuff. I think I said Elton John last time, but I'm going to go with Bowie.
Okay. Let's see. Van Halen or Sammy Hagar?
Van Halen.
Wait. West Coast rap or East Coast rap? I can't remember what last one you said.
Dude, I'm a
West Coast. Yeah. Okay,
yeah, I'm a
all
West
right.
Coast rapper. Yeah.
All right. Favorite West Coast rap song of all time. What's your favorite? Like, what's a banger that will always get you pumped up?
Dude, all I'll say is the stuff we saw on the Super Bowl halftime.
That was it.
Dude.
Did you get throwbacks or what? What a throwback,
dude, I was in Earl's living room and I was just giving it some. I was just like, yeah.
Dude, I got chills, bro. Like,
bro.
I didn't watch any. I hardly watched any of the game. I watched a little bit, but the halftime show was thank God we had a show like that. We needed it.
Dude, I was there, man. I was there.
All right, little word association. First thing to come to mind: substrate,
Reptile block,
ovulation,
eggs.
day 60.
Say that again.
Day 60.
Day 55.
Ultra male or monarch?
Ultra male.
Stranger or confusion?
Ooh. See, I've got acid, so I'd have to go with stranger.
Okay, awesome. Stuck shed.
Ooh. Soak.
Instagram trolls.
Facebook.
Instagram trolls, Facebook. Fuck. Okay, if you had to get rid of one platform forever, Gavin, and I mean forever, is it going to be TikTok or Snapchat?
Snapchat.
Dude, awesome shit, Gavin. Listen, I appreciate this so much. Cannot wait to hang out with. That being said, hold on. Are there plans of you coming to another American show here soon, or what's your agenda like?
Yeah, so I'm definitely going to do Tinley in October.
Right.
I was going to try and do it in March, but I can't get over there. It's too soon. So definitely going to do Tinley in October. That's for sure.
Awesome. Well, listen, I can't wait. I'll see you at Tinley for sure. I'm also going to let you know as soon as I can book my UK tour with my boy Matt Summers, but I will be on your side 100%. Of the pond here. I'll be on your side of the pond here in no time, bro. But again, go ahead.
Yeah, no, dude, listen, when you come over, I'm going to link you up. You know that.
Yes, bro. Listen, I appreciate all the inspiration, not only for me, but for your entire community of people that you've been building, just being one of the great leaders in this industry, not only for the UK, but for America, bro. And I appreciate this so much, Gavin, for being a part of this channel and just your support throughout this whole time. So thank you, Gavin. I appreciate it, man.
Dude, thanks for having me on. And I just want to say a massive thanks to everyone who's tuned in and supported you and me on tonight's, Trap Talk. And obviously, all the comments and all the love and stuff. And, trust me, I'm humbled every time I come on one of these and people turn up and just show the support and love for me and the host, obviously. But I do appreciate everyone's, support, really do.
All right, man. Well, listen, Gavin, enjoy the rest of your night. I appreciate so much. And that's a wrap for my man, Gavin. Balls to you.
Thanks, guys.
Peace out, buddy.
Take it easy.
Thank you, man. Have a good night. Okay. Thank you.
Take it easy, MJ. Thank you.
The Gaffer in the books. Amazing show, guys. Man, that was better than the first episode. I think because his setup was so sick. But at the end of the day, guys, I appreciate all your guys' involvement in the chats. Everyone show my man Gavin love. All the likes, man. You guys got the likes up? Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. If you forgot to hit the like, no, it's not late, man. Hit that like right now for my boy Gavin. But yeah, what an amazing show. Appreciate all the super chats. My boy Calvin just dropped a super chat right now, and I appreciate it. Is the glass half full or empty? I don't know, bro. Knock it off. But I appreciate you guys so much. Tomorrow it is Holy Monitor Day or Holy Lizard, but we do have my boy who's tapping in with us, part of the Trap Dog Patreon page. But this guy is very player, man. He works with leopard geckos. He works with abronia. He has a couple species of iguana. My boy Bubba, man, from Bubba Living Emporium, going down tomorrow, 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Such a reminder, coolest reptile podcast in the world. And again, UK, you guys got it good with my man Gavin from Balls to You. The Balls to You community, I appreciate you guys so much. You guys are fucking with the real one. And yeah, if you're a part of the trap community, you guys already know you guys are my hot. And I appreciate you guys so much. And yeah, man, I'll catch you guys here tomorrow. Another Trap Talk session going down. Ain't no other place to be but that, man.